In this tutorial, we're going to learn how to make a calculator app by building on an already existing app, and that's going to be our addition app. So if you're not there when you log in, go ahead, click on Projects, select My Projects, and we're going to click on Addition because this is the app that we're going to be working with. Now that this app is going to have additional features, not just addition, we're going to rename it. So go ahead and click on the Projects tab, and then let's go ahead and click on Save Project As, and let's name it Calculator. Click OK. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to modify this label. So our calculator is no longer just going to be able to do addition. We want the user to be able to select between addition and subtraction. So go ahead and click on the plus sign in the Components panel, and let's go ahead and delete this label. So I'm going to click Delete, select OK. Now let's go over to the user, right under User Interface, and let's select List Picker. Click and drag to the screen preview. The List Picker will serve as a drop-down menu, so the user will be able to select between addition and subtraction. So let's go ahead and right under Properties, let's change the text to plus because that's what we want to appear when the user opens up the app. So let's go ahead and change that to plus. And let's rename this component Operation Picker. Select OK. And we want the font size 30. Enter. Okay, now let's go ahead and leave the designer mode and go into blocks. So I'm going to click on blocks. Now in order to be able to select between the two different operations, we need to create a list of choices. And to do this, we're going to, in the blocks panel, we're going to select Operations, Operation Picker. It's going to bring up a menu of blocks. And we're going to select the second block, When Operation Picker, before picking. So we're going to click and drag to our work area. We will use this block because we want the list of operations to be readily available before it interacts with the app. In order to make this list of two different items, we're going to go back to the Blocks panel and select List. And we're going to click and drag the second block, Make a List with two items, and bring it to our work area. Now we need to add items to this list. For this calculator, we're going to use symbols for each operation. To do that, we're going to go back to our Blocks panel and we're going to select Text. And we're going to drag out two blank text boxes, so two of these, and bring them to our work area. Here's one. Go back to Text and select another one. In the first one, let's go ahead and type in the plus sign. And in the second one, we're going to type in the minus sign. Here we go. Let's go ahead and attach the plus text to the first notch in the Make a List block and this minus block in the second notch. Now, in order to allow the user to be able to actually see these two different options that we just created, we need another block, and that's called Set Operations Picker Elements 2, and we're going to find it under this component. So go ahead and click on Operations Picker. Okay, let's scroll down a little bit, and it's right over here, Set Operations Picker Elements 2. Let's bring that to our work area. I'm going to bring it over here. And in programming, elements are essentially individual items in a list. So it stands to reason that we want the elements of our operations picker to be set to the list that we just created. So we're going to attach our list block to this block. So let's click and drag over here. We can move these over a little bit. And let's bring this down a little bit so we can work with this block. Okay, next what we're going to do is we're going to attach this block to Win Operations Picker before picking. So let's click and bring this over here. So now when the app starts up and the operation picker is loaded, it has the list ready for the user to interact with. And when I say list, I mean these two different items, the plus and the minus, addition and subtraction. When the user is using the app and making a selection from the menu, it's important that they can observe that the change actually happened. To do this, we're going to have to change the text that's displayed on the picker itself. So let's go ahead and work with the text property of Operation Picker. Let's click on it, click on the component, and we're going to pull out Set Operation Picker Text 2 block. So let's scroll down. And here it is, Set Operation Picker Text 2. And let's also pull out Operation Picker Select. And let's put the two together. In order to actually make this display happen, it has to be put within another block. So we want the display to happen after the user makes a selection. So let's go ahead and pull out another block that performs this function. We're going to select Operation Picker Block Win, and that's the first one. Let's give ourselves a little bit more room to work in this area. Now let's attach these two blocks right in this notch. There. Now we need to adjust our solve button. Let's just move some items over. We need to adjust our solve button so that it can do both addition and subtraction. And in order to decide which one to do, we need to use if-then statements. So let's come over here to our blocks panel and select control, and we're going to drag out two if-then blocks. We need one for each operation. That's two. We also need a way to determine whether the selection property of the operation picker is a plus or a minus to determine whether to do addition or subtraction. To do this, we need also a few more blocks. Let's look under the logic menu. That's the second one right in the blocks panel. And let's pull out this block with two blanks and an equal. Now I'm just going to scroll up and move some things around so we can have more room to work. There we go. Now, in order to make our comparison, we need to get the selection of the operation picker and operation symbol to compare to. To get the text for the operation picker, we need to select operation picker selection in blocks. And we're going to drag two of these out. So we're looking for operation picker selection. Here it is. There's one. And here's another one. And we're going to attach each to the first slot of the equal comparison block. Okay, let's place this in this notch right over here. And then we're going to put it in the first notch of our if-then statement. And we're going to need one more of these. And we're going to place the second one in our second if-then statement. Now for the second symbols over here, we're going to right-click the text block, attach to Make a List block, and we're going to select Duplicate. One for plus, and then another one for this text block, Duplicate. And then we're going to drag the duplicates to the second blank in the two equal comparison blocks. There. Now we need to have the app make the appropriate decision on how to proceed after determining whether or not the selection was for the addition or the subtraction. This is where the if-then statements come in. So if it's true that the user chose addition, then we need to add the two numbers together. Thankfully, this part was already done in the previous lesson. So let's scroll down to this block over here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to attach this command to this if-then statement. We're going to grab the whole command and we're going to scroll up and attach it to this if-then statement. There. Now we still need a command for this if-then statement. So we're going to need these items. So and we're going to need a statement just like this, except for subtraction. So let's come over to this component, and we're going to select Set Answer Text to. Here it is. And then we're going to come over to the math block, and we're going to select subtraction. And now let's duplicate these blocks and slot them in here in this notch. And then we're going to duplicate this block and slot it right in here. And there is our second command for this if-then statement, and we can slot that right in here. There, now we have both if-then statements. And what we're going to do with these if-then statements is we're going to attach them both to the When Solve button click block. There's the first if-then statement. That one's all set. And now the second if-then statement. There. And that's it for our calculator app. And this is what your blocks view should look like.